All right, Thrive is having their annual spring sale, and I am going to tell you my thoughts about the things that are on sale for 1 week only. First up is mushroom pieces. If you don't have these, if you haven't tried these, and if you use mushrooms in your cooking, absolutely yes, hands down, I recommend these, and they are 50% off. Snag these, you will not regret it. They don't go stale very quickly if you do put them in an airtight container. These are something that's always open in my pantry. I love the convenience of them. No more buying fresh mushrooms and having them get black and slimy before I'm ready to use them. I love that I always have fresh mushrooms on hand. 50% off is a great deal. They do have an overstock banner over them, which means they may be 1 or 2 years into their shelf life when you receive them, but with a 25-year shelf life, I am not worried about that. I will take the 50% discount. Sweetened cranberries and confetti cake bites are also 50% off. They are not my favorite. I do not store them. I do not have them. I've tried them. Not my favorite things. Broccoli is 45% off. Yes, if you use broccoli in any of your cooking, if your family likes broccoli, I definitely recommend this. 45% off is a great deal. It is awesome in casseroles, soups. It's great just as a vegetable on your plate. I also really love eating this out of the can. It's actually a really pretty tasty snack and super healthy, 100% broccoli. Green beans are also 45% off. These ones are a little less my favorites. I prefer the broccoli over the green beans, but still a great vegetable, and it's 45% off. Pulled pork. This is an awesome protein, awesome meat. I love it. I store it, and it is 40% off. I would definitely cash in on this if you've got the budget for it. It's a great meat to have on hand and in your food storage. One thing to note on this, you should use the pulled pork within 1 month of opening. Most of the other stuff has a longer shelf life. This one only has a 1 month shelf life once you open that can. So if you're not gonna go through an entire number 10 can very quickly, I would recommend that you get this in the pantry can size. Ground beef is also 40% off. Another great protein. It does kind of look like dog food, I'm not gonna lie, but it is awesome. I used to not like this, to be honest, because it tasted like reheated ground beef, and I am not a fan of reheated meats. However, if you reconstitute this with the water that you're supposed to and let it sit and come back to its original state, and then you brown it in a frying pan, it completely changes the game. It is so good. I made tacos with this, and the only other thing I put in there was taco seasoning, and I could not tell between fresh ground beef and this ground beef. It is awesome. This is something I definitely store a bunch of because I cook with this a lot more than something like pulled pork. 40% off is a killer deal for meat, so snag this if you are interested. Sweet corn is also 40% off. This is one of my favorite snacks. In fact, for my family, we all chose our favorite freeze-dried fruit or yogurt bites, or in my case, corn. And this size pantry can goes in our 72-hour kit. So this is like our snack food. And I chose corn for mine. I love their sweet corn. I think it is awesome. This stays crunchy for a really long time just in the can. So this is something that I'm not like super conscious about putting in an airtight container right away. This stuff will last for quite a while in the can without getting chewy. Green peas are also 40% off. These are great. They're just like the peas that are like on top of a cup of noodle. Once again, if I had to choose, broccoli is my number one for a green vegetable that is freeze-dried, but peas are really great. I especially love having these in my storage for chicken pot pie because my recipe has peas in it, and that's a really big part of the filling of my chicken pot pie. So I definitely store these, and they are 40% off. Onion slices are 35% off. If you know me at all, you know that onions are my number one item from Thrive Life that I love and I would not ever be caught without. This is something just like the mushrooms that is always open in my pantry. I honestly prefer the chopped onions. I use chopped onions more than I use their sliced onions just because I prefer, and so does my family, smaller pieces. So the onion slices are a lot bigger than the super small, finely diced onions. So if you're more of a chunky onion kind of person, then go ahead and capitalize on this sale for the sliced onions. 35% off is a great deal. Once again, this is something that is open in my pantry all of the time for convenience so that I don't have to buy fresh onions and then deal with crying while I'm chopping them and smelly hands and a smelly fridge and all of that. These are amazing. Sausage crumbles are also 35% off. This is another protein that I love. It looks a lot like the ground beef. It is so good. I've used this for soups. I've made it with the egg powder, with like little chunks of potatoes, like a little breakfast casserole type thing. This sausage is awesome. If you ever cook with sausage, I highly recommend this. 35% off, a great deal for meat and protein. There are a few more things that are 35% off, and then on down, 30% off, 25% off, 20% off. I focus on the heavy hitters. So in my opinion, there are so many things to choose from here already that I've covered that's where I would stop personally. If there's something else on the list that interests you, by all means, go ahead and capitalize on this sale. But those are the heavy hitters that I would highly, highly recommend. And I'm pretty sure most people are gonna run out of their budget long before they get down to the 30% off items. So I'm not even gonna bother covering those. This sale goes from Tuesday, April 23rd until April 29th. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know. You can comment here, send me a DM on Instagram, send me an email, melanie@planforawesome.com, and I will leave all of this in the caption as well.